Welcome, welcome. Why is that all messed up? Damn, my stuff's messed up. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me figure this out. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. Anyways, but I got to get this thing situated because clearly it is not working correctly. Why is that all screwed up? Bear with me, fellas. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna quick disclaimer. I got to get this thing situated, but I want to let you guys know that this is nothing bad against Clore.ai, obviously, and we just are doing this for our own knowledge to make sure that we're all safe and everything is good. Let me get this situated 1 second, fellas. Let me see. Bear with me. Apologize. I have Mr. Yeti in the background, and we're going to be doing... There we go. Perfect. All right, Mr. Yeti is in the back, and we're going to go through, more or less, dive through Clore, see what's all going on with it. If it's safe, make sure the wallet's not any type of virus, everything like that. So let's get into it and bring in my man Yeti. Mr. Yeti, what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
How you doing, chump?
Good. Sorry, clearly we're having hiccups this afternoon. This is miserable.
Nothing unusual for you.
We forgot to do the deep dive of my PC, so we're gonna have to do that at some point and see what the hell's going on here. Yeah. All right. Anyways. So let's dive into Clore. I guess I'm going to share your screen right now. If anybody in the chat, if you guys have any questions, this is Clore.ai. This is a coin that came out, what, a couple months back, right? I think it was back in March or something. Yeah.
Something
and
like that.
I guess let's go over the wallet first. You want to talk about that? We'll you scanned it, made sure there's no viruses, and then we can get into what it's all about. So I'll let you take it away.
Okay, so same as last week, we took Clore's whole set of do apologize about the white. I need to download a different notepad.
You're
but
fine.
Basically we went and did the exact same thing again. Virus scanned it. Here's the results.
Nothing. Nice. Okay.
So nothing is kind of well, from a sense of the point that it's got no viruses, that's actually accurate. However, their wallet has something very similar to a few other wallets I've scanned recently, funnily enough. So it looks like it's more a Ravencoin wallet problem than maybe some of these tokens. They haven't actually spotted what's going on. Okay. A few things that I spotted. Let me just bring up this. And then we can explain it a little bit deeper. So this is basically a list of all the files that it interacts with. If anyone spots the Aglarium worrying line here, I wouldn't be shocked if people spot it straight away. But basically, if to save time, it's the two bottom lines that worry me the most. One.
Yeah.
So let me highlight it. So let me explain. So what that is doing is basically using your username that you're logged in as. That's what the angled brackets around user means.
Yep.
As in logged in user. Mm-hmm. And then obviously it's looking in your downloads folder and it's looking for a qt.conf file, which potentially could even be a qt.conf file from another wallet. It's something that Ravencoin, I even scanned Ravencoin's wallet, and that bit of code is actually in the Ravencoin wallet, not just Clore. So, as I've put down in my notes, and I'm going to make sure that all my notes are publicly available as well. So if anyone wants to have a look at what I found and read it a little bit more extensively, I will be making all these completely public. So as you can see here, so this could be potentially, there's the line of code where it reads any qt.conf file, but there is also a code reference to a qt-login.ini file. Now that could just be part of the original CLI. If you turn on debug mode, that it dumps into here, but realistically, that shouldn't be there If they ask for a debug log, you can actually from the CLI export it directly to a log file rather than having it, log straight into an INI file that anyone can actually read. You should only be logging if you're stuck on something and need help, for example, right?
Interesting.
And another line, which is quite interesting, is this.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Again, this is a reference to basically somebody's PC who deals with Ravencoin. Now, myself and Mad Electron had a look at this, and we believe the miner-to-miner part might actually be some very old code, basically, that's designed to allow you to mine directly from the wallet. So some coins, when they first start up, they'll have the ability to CPU mine, for example, directly through the wallet, instead of having to download external applications to do that thing.
Huh.
So this could just be really old code that nobody's ever bothered to remove.
Yeah, someone in the chat was asking about the Neoxa wallet. Is it similar to that? I mean, overall.
So the first version that I scanned, yes, was very similar. Now, since they've had a bit of time to really dig into their wallet, it's had a bit of a tweak, but not much. They have gone through and basically locked down the Qt stuff directly to the folder that it's actually located in. So, like I always say to everyone, never put your wallets in your download folder. It's the worst idea in the world you could ever try, do, and all that will cause is the moment something like this is being used and nobody picks up on it, there's every chance, a bit like that Kawpow one that we did, that somebody uses that same mechanism to actually do something nefarious, because there's that bit of code in there and people are just like, oh, well, it's old, outdated code that nobody's touched. How long before somebody exploits that variable? So I'd very much like to see Ravencoin actually go in and tweak that so it locks it down to the folder that it's actually located in, or completely remove that need altogether, like a bit like Dynex did.
Interesting. So it's more or less exactly the same thing as Ravencoin, this wallet.
Pretty much.
In general.
Pretty much. There's three differences. The logos. Some of the text, where they've changed the word Ravencoin to basically Clore. And the ability to rent GPUs. Now, this is what me and you were talking about earlier in regards to what they're actually doing and how they're implementing it. That's the only thing in their wallet that's effectively different from Ravencoin. Is the ability to rent a GPU.
Right. So my main concern was like, or not a concern, just a question was like, are they even related to AI in any way? Like, it's one of those things. Like, they don't have a white paper, or at least I couldn't find it. If you guys know in the chat, please someone drop a link or let us know. But I only found, I don't know if you want to show that page that I found.
You're talking about the proof of holdings, effectively.
Yeah, that was the closest thing to a white paper that I could find.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty much the closest I could find, and it doesn't really, go over the way that their system works properly anyway. This is something that's like this is like their version of staking, right? Proof of holding, surely, their version of a stake.
Right.
So, that to me, it's just a case that it doesn't make much sense to me. I've read this thing like 5 times now, and it still doesn't quite.
Yeah, I don't see the point.
Make you fully understand what Clore is.
Right. I mean, I guess so. You're renting hash power, right? Like that's what they claim they do. You can rent hash power, or just GPUs, I guess it says, right? But what are you renting? Are you renting the hash power, or are you renting rendering? Like, what are you doing with these GPUs? That's where I was kind of confused.
Again, from what you can see in this document that they've put in here, this doesn't really explain how the Clore system works, but digging around on their website, you get a little bit of an understanding of. So from the wallet, you can effectively rent a GPU, right? So I can go and rent a 4090 and it will give you the configuration for what you want to run on it. So that might be a render, that could be some calculations that you need doing, or it could even, technically, you could even run a miner. However,
So confusing.
like I was just saying to you, what would be the punishment? You're already effectively running a miner to Clore.
Right.
And then on top of that, they're going to run a secondary miner on it. I just don't see how that would work, potentially.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
No. So, and even if you're using it for rendering, again, how much is the punishment from the mining aspect when you're doing rendering? Because rendering will absolutely take up as much of the VRAM as humanly possible to do the render.
Right.
And so are they actually going to pay you a decent amount based on the fact you're also going to be losing on your mining side of things?
Right. So like looking right here, it's like per minute billing, right? Pay for the just right, or the right amount of time you need computing power, cancel anytime, right? It makes, I don't understand it. It makes no sense. Like what for what though? Like, I don't know.
I could
It's
understand it from a rendering point, and like
that makes sense. Like if it was rendering only, that would make sense. But what, they don't reference that at all. Like nowhere.
No, well, actually, they don't mention anything of what you can do with the GPU, other than you can rent a GPU.
Right. Right. Cheaply,
which
at a low price.
kind of doesn't really make much sense, because what are the people doing with those GPUs? Are they using a GPU to crack passwords? Because now you're getting into a very gray area that could get you in a lot of trouble, because it's your hardware doing the cracking, not theirs. So I rent 100 GPUs to crack an industrial password, right? On a government building website or something, right?
Is it going to come back to you?
Who's now in the wrong? You're cracking it using somebody else's computer with somebody else's IP address that's completely been paid for by a blockchain that's supposed to be anonymous.
Ooh, that's actually, Yeti, that's a good thing to bring up. Now, that's so weird. It's like,
at that point?
Now, would it show their IP? I mean, I get,
yes.
Yeah, it would. That's so
yes,
weird.
It would.
I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah, you completely, as a hacker, say, you know, I did that. To a certain degree, I would be completely protected by that system, and I could sit there block cracking passwords galore all day long, and nobody would be able to, you know, to a certain degree, trace it. So it's an interesting one. And then you've also got to worry about if you are pulled for that, proving that your GPU wasn't being used by you at the time, it's going to be difficult. Like, I just see that somebody pointed out that it's whoever facilitates it. You are correct. It is whoever facilitates it, but you can also be guilty by association.
Interesting.
So if a crime is committed, those who actually are helping in that act can also be charged. So now you get into the realms of a really sticky situation.
Right. Panda in the chat said, Vast AI, he said, has the exact disclaimer, all legal stuff is associated to the account that is renting.
Sure.
IP and info is tracked by Vast AI, but the user, whoever rents, could be hiding behind proxies / VPNs, whatever. Can't police it. Ooh.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's
crazy. It's a horrible scenario, and this is why VPN hosts have some serious issues, right? They have to have some serious amount of public liability for that exact reason. It's why, as a company, I would never offer VPN services personally.
Right.
Like, you'd have that in a specific data center where it's locked down by the cover by the data center and everything like that, so that if anything goes wrong, it's adequately proved it's a public service. But you're effectively using a piece of software that isn't even well known at this point, right? It's brand new. It's out in the market. The police aren't even going to be aware of what Clore is. Right. How are you going to explain it to the police officer?
Yeah, exactly. So the thing, like with Clore, right? So the only way you're affected in that aspect is I guess the reason behind Clore, right? It's not so much the mining aspect. Like, as miners, we're okay, but it's when you register to their computing, like distributed supercomputer stuff, that's where you're gonna get tagged, right? When you're getting involved with this, you know, when you click this right here. Man, that's really weird. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat, and we can, you know, dive into whatever or talk about whatever. But that's super concerning. Now, other than that, right? I guess renting a GPU and hash rate, right, or rendering or whatever you're doing with it, it's not really AI.
No, it's not even close. I mean, potentially you could ask it to do an AI-based task, but you would have to code it in such a payload that it can be deployed over a blockchain to that device and spooled up on that singular device. Now, I don't know how sophisticated their program is, but it didn't look like when I looked through the code that there's a lot around payload delivery or anything like that. It's very basic, the sort of things that you can ask it to do.
Right. Weird. You guys bring up a good points, and then also Miner says do it at your own risk. Yeah, no, for sure. That's, I don't know, getting involved with Clore, like the Yeti made a good point. I would have never thought that somebody could use your GPUs maliciously and then you get tagged for it, and that's concerning for sure. As far as mining it, if you can make money off it, awesome. But I do think that this is just they're living off the hype of AI. I don't think this is AI. This is not.
Absolutely. There's no artificial anything in there. It's been purposefully coded. From what I can see, there is not much in the way of changes to the fork of Ravencoin that they started with. There hasn't been any updates in a good 4 months on their GitHub. So that's something else to consider, the lack of development. Now, it could be that they're going to, you know, do a bit like Ethereum, take a year, throw a monster update in one go and pray and hope it all works. Or they, I suppose, could take, you know, the Flux and the more smaller coins approaches, whereby they put out regular updates to make sure that they're not breaking their system before it's actually had a chance to have people use it.
Interesting. What did Panda say? Panda says same concern on Dynex usage. Yeah, actually Dynex usage, like, so we're gonna have to pull Sumi in to have like a chat with him in a video. And obviously I don't know if we're gonna do it live or recorded, but I'm gonna ask him if we could do it live, see if he's okay with it. But there is still some concerns with the whole Dynex thing in the background. How does it do the computing at the same time?
I guess it's more a an issue with who's running it. Why are they not wanting to be more open with the community? And, you know, if they're being like that, is there anything else that we should be aware of? Now, we said last week that the web wallet wasn't to be used at the moment. Even Dynex has been saying not to use it, or at least until it's ready. And obviously we've had some people concerned that there's potential exploits in that. And now I could deep dive the web wallet, but if they're already actively changing it right now, the audit's going to be pretty outdated very fast, especially if they're rolling out continuous updates.
Right. Panda made a good point too. He said same concerns on any usage, like GPU usage on any network. So like Flux proof of work, right? He's saying that's still a concern you got to think about. If somebody uses your GPUs or whatever for malicious activities, then there's got to be, man, that's crazy. Like that really concerns me now, actually. That really does concern me now.
Yeah, I mean, renting hardware is a very troublesome thing, right? For example, so I rent a server to Big Wooly for his Minecraft, right? Now, obviously, that's all in my rack with my network capability, with my bandwidth. It's all tied to me. If he goes off and causes a problem, that's on me as well as him.
Right.
So it goes basically from the top of the chain all the way down, and then it just gets really nasty from there. But you know, Ninja Kid also points out that people who do, I guess, offensive security, you're talking about like pen testing devices and pen testing software. Technically, penetration testing is not actually against the law. There's a fine line though when it comes to the legalities of it, what is considered penetration testing and hacking. But that comes more down to the discretion of the people arresting you. If they determine that you're hacking, no amount of you saying you were penetration testing will beat that. They will just arrest you for hacking.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. I was gonna give it back. That's like stealing something and saying that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah. You're deep shit, I guess, right? All right. What else did you end up finding, or is there anything else you want to talk about?
So I ran the usual checking of outbound ports, Wireshark. The outbound ports that are being used are 8788, which is obviously their RPC connector for their master nodes. So a bit like Dynex again last week, they've got their own dedicated port number.
Yep.
Again, they're being very lazy to bind to every network card on the device, when realistically they should be binding to whatever's active at the time. But that seems to be a very common thing to do to make people's lives easier that don't understand that.
Most likely, yeah.
Level of understanding. So, I mean, the Wireshark tests basically showed the same. They were connecting out to the master nodes to synchronize data 2 ways. And then 443, which was for their reverse lookup blockchain to determine whether or not the transaction has completed. So you know how like it might need 6 confirmations, it might need 12, 20.
Yep.
That is all collected via an API. So that's why it needs outbound 443 to be able to collect that data basically. And then obviously I've got a few notes that I wrote down. The core has not been updated in 4 months. That's something that bothers me a little bit, that if they're so active about wanting this to take off, you certainly wouldn't be taking 4 months between updates. You'd be rolling out an update every week, if not every month.
Right. At least something. Do something.
Yeah.
Be present.
Bug fixes, updated graphics, better wording in your documentation, a new white paper, any sort of, issues. Retro Mike, I've just spotted that out of the corner of my eye. Actually, it's a very good question. How are these platforms going to handle GDPR? Now, obviously, you guys technically aren't over there familiar with GDPR. If you sell anything and keep data records on people in Europe and the UK, we've got something called GDPR and the right to be forgotten, which causes a whole load of number of problems with data privacy.
It says the General Data Protection Regulation. Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's basically to do with how data is handled, how data is removed, how long data can be stored, where it can be sold to. So your run-of-the-mill person can't just walk up and buy a huge data set in this country anymore, because that's against GDPR rules, unless they've actually specifically said, yes, I want to be contacted for marketing. Back in the day, and I think even you guys are still over there doing this, but you're basically signed up for marketing information if you forget to tick that box immediately. It's not you've got to opt in, it's you've got to opt out. Well, GDPR turns that on its head. You've actually got to opt in rather than being already opted in. So yeah, it is going to cause a problem. And if I do data sets that's for a client, is that data actually being dealt with correctly? It's a very good point.
Right.
It's a very good point.
For sure. Citizen LDM says Clore is probably the ones who are going after the old BTC unencrypted wallets. He said all that GPU power someone could fund that, and why we would see old BTC accounts suddenly active. Yeah. No, it's a good point.
Absolutely.
That's a very good point. Man, interesting. All right. Let's see. What else you got here?
So, like, I wrote down here, there's no actual white paper, right? The closest thing we've found to a white paper is this proof of holding,
right?
Which doesn't
7 pages.
Like
it's colorful,
7
looks
pages
good,
long.
But it's not.
It's more a case that this is like their version of staking.
Yeah,
is how
100%.
I would see this.
Now, I don't understand. Do you even understand how that makes sense? Like why do you have to stake for what? Is this for the node? Is that?
I believe this is more that you stake it and get a reward. It's just like an APY style staking system.
Interesting. Yeah,
And I
because I
thought
wasn't following it.
maybe there might be something in here about, you know, how their rental system might actually interact with this, because if you're getting it by what you're holding, right, that means you don't actually have to tie it up and stake it. It should just be, oh well, you've got 10 Clore in your account, you're getting APY on that no matter whether it's locked up or not. So surely if you're getting paid for doing a rental of your GPU, that's also got to be factored in. How does that link in with this? What's the percentages and everything like that? There's too many questions at the moment.
Right. Holy hell, real quick. Panda in the chat just said someone rented 500 4090s on Vast AI last week, about $4,000 a day to rent that. I wonder what the hell they were doing. That's crazy. Like, what do you do with that?
I mean, that could just be somebody doing like university, like scientific data number crunching.
Like
they need that much horsepower to crunch through, 50 terabytes of data. That is completely like doable, and it would probably be cheaper than going to like a dedicated hosting provider that does this, because they're going to charge you through like a lot more than what probably these crypto companies are going to charge.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if they're gonna have to pay for it anyways, it's kind of one of those things, if it's cheaper over here, why not give it a shot? If it works out this time, we'll use it again, type deal.
Universities having their budgets also slashed everywhere around the world at the moment. University grants don't have the kind of money they had 10 years ago.
Right.
So they've got to get creative. And if there's these ways that they can crunch through data sets for half the price, suddenly they've effectively got their their whole syllabus available to them again, but for half the price.
Right. Not everyone on the internet is evil, says Evan. Well, they're all evil until proven not evil, I guess. Does that make sense? We'll always be skeptical of projects until we have a reason not to be, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Everybody, at the end of the day, you always have to be careful, right? When it comes to downloading these wallets. And I mean, we've seen it before. We've just never done videos like this, but we have caught, that Kawpow friggin' coin with that shit in its wallet. And it was just it was like a virus that can you explain that? What was that even? Like, how did that work?
So, okay, the easiest way to describe it is, how I was explaining that it's tied to the Qt wallet file in your downloads folder. Right?
Yes. Yep.
Well, thankfully, this one doesn't have any more code in it that can trigger sending out coins autonomously like the Kawpow one did. But obviously, the developer of that specific wallet had looked in the code, realized there's this possible one exploit that you need to know where you're looking to actually trigger it. And he did it without anyone spotting, and it cost a lot of people money. And that was one of the biggest things that started me on this idea of sitting down with you, wasn't it? And saying, well, let's deep dive these and actually make sure they're safe.
Right. I kind of wish we did this one a little while ago just to see. I mean, again, on a miner's perspective, like, it's all clean. There's nothing that we see so far.
Yeah, but from the wallet, it is clean. The only thing I would suggest is that you do not put it in your downloads folder. Take it out of the downloads folder and run it from somewhere else, preferably on its own VM.
Yeah, we should. We have to do a video on that. We'll have to get together and like teach people how to either make a VM or just download these wallets onto like micro SD cards or something, and put it aside. Just that's that wallet. You know what I mean? Label it and put it away. Panda wants to deep dive Ironfish. Ironfish is probably a good one to look into, actually.
We can add it to the list.
Yeah, we have a whole list we're gonna do. Yeti's getting this whole thing together where we're gonna deep dive a bunch of different coins. He's gonna have a whole, I don't know if you want to show it, it's up to you, but it's like this whole setup where he's got, actually it's kind of cool looking, but it's like an audit page where basically go through all the coins. You guys can click on them and see what we found or whatnot. It's pretty neat. All right, let's see if we can. Yeti's trying to bring it up now, but all right, let's see. Patrick Murphy said maybe they're just using it to solo mine BTC gold on 2 miners and hit a block like this guy. What? Let me see. Let me open this link. 1 second. What is this, Mr. Patrick Murphy? Let me see. What is this guy doing? He's hitting. Wait, is he hitting these blocks? Holy shit! 6.25 is Bitcoin gold.
Damn.
Can you imagine if that's what they were renting those 4090s for to do all this?
I mean, we were talking about it just before we came on camera, funnily enough. Like, could you use one to mine the other? And what would be the actual punishment for doing that? I suppose with a 4090, you're not going to get as much punishment from, you know, running it dual as the other.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, makes sense. So this is what Mr. Yeti's got brewing up. You want to explain this a little bit?
So the idea is that we're going to create a complete database of everything we're auditing. That will allow you to have my original notes, screenshots if I need to take any for obvious reasons. If I find something like, you know, and it trashes the VM that I'm running it on, then I want to take as many screenshots as possible to show off that we've done our testing and such. It's going to have links to the antivirus check, some on it, the links to their white papers, to their GitHubs, everything. So I've been slowly building this over the course of today. And
awesome.
Then, so you'll effectively be able to search for the actual crypto, and then this will actually, I've still got to put this in here, which version it was, but we might go back and do Dynex in 6 months' time and do another check on their wallet. Where instead of having multiple Dynexes on this list, when you go into Dynex, you'll be able to switch which versions we've effectively audited.
That's awesome. Yeah, that'd be super helpful. Once everything's done, people can go back and look.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, we've got it all via a nice spreadsheet, but I would like to be able to add more. Like putting in my notes in a spreadsheet would be impractical.
Right.
But putting it on a website, very easy.
Right. Super easy. And then you just click on the logo. They can see if it's safe, see, you know, if they should download this or not.
You know, you might have a version drop down underneath here that, depending on which version you want to test, obviously the latest audit will be in there. And then you'll be able to go back if you need to see which version you might have been running.
Nice. So, we got a fangirl in the chat. EtherXE says, "Love you, but the info you guys are giving is false, and Wireshark is useless too." Do you want to elaborate a little bit, Yeti? I guess. You can just say "eat shit" real close to the camera. That's fine. I honestly, everything that we're looking up, nothing's false info. It's just literally what we find, and that's it. We're not making shit up. It's just what we see, what we discuss, and that's that. What do you think about that, Yeti? About Wireshark?
Well, correct. A lot of the time, things will be buried in zip files or, you know, secondary compiles. However, when I did the Kawpow one, that was actually, I decompiled that. I went full on because
you found something.
Like 6 different people came to me and said there's something not quite right. And this was freely available on their GitHub. And as soon as I approached their developer, not only did I get banned from their Discord, but they released a brand new version 4 hours later. So that says to me that there was definitely something in there, and they were probably utilizing this one line of code that I found that seems to be embedded in all Ravencoin clones at the moment, because nobody bothers to change any code. They just change the name and off they go. They don't actually understand what the code does to be able to future-proof that kind of attack. Or somebody just clones, you know, the wallet off the GitHub, makes a few changes, releases it as a zip file, which, funnily enough, Mad Electron had something similar with an SRB miner recently. he put out a short about it, where somebody had patched this SRB miner, even though it looked legit, had all the right meta tags. The moment you threw it through an antivirus, it went absolutely bonkers. So yeah, I mean, there's a million different ways to embed something in another app. That's for sure.
You see his comment now. So he says, one, they mentioned Kawpow. The GitHub code was open sourced. The code was just fine.
Version 1 wasn't, because I went through
definitely
version
wasn't.
1, and version 1 isn't no longer available on their GitHub.
They attached the wallet.dat stealer onto the zip file and not the actual code. They used a FUD to hide it. What do you have to say about that, Yeti? Anything? So yeah, the first, like you just said, the first link was absolutely not fine. It 100% was not fine, because it was removed immediately as soon as we went and said something to him. And again,
that said to me that there was something nefarious, and like I say, I took a ban straight off their Discord the moment I arrived. So
and
people
Yeti
were
has
obviously already saying that I was, doing a deep dive into it. And yeah, the moment I arrived to speak to the developer to talk to him what could be the potential problem and how to fix it, I took a straight ban off their Discord for no reason.
right.
So,
And you also had screenshots talking to the guy over there, right?
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that.
So I mean, there could have been multiple different versions of Kawpow running around. Like, that's the other thing, right? You might have one that's directly from GitHub. You might have had another one that somebody's then downloaded from GitHub, packed something else around it, and then re-released it on somewhere else. We saw that with the LHR unlocker chump.
Yep.
When it just did the rounds on GitHub with many people taking a copy of it. And all that was doing was causing a spike in downloads, and then all of a sudden, where's it coming from? Because you can't actually tell where it's coming from at that point. So
right. Let's see. So what is a FUD to hide it? What is that? He said they used an FUD to hide it.
Easiest way to describe it, right, is the oldest trick in the book is not making the user look where you want, right? It's knowing where the user's going to look and misdirection, right? Biggest magic in the world is done by misdirection. No different with viruses. Misdirection is 99% of the best way to hide a virus.
Right.
By turning around going, oh, there's a virus over here, but then hiding another virus over here, and having them both run at the exact same time. Well, which one do you go after? Because if you know about one, you're going to attack that. You're not going to go after the one you don't know about. So misdirection, a hell of a lot of times, will actually 99% of the time will actually fool people.
He said FUD means fully undetectable or no antivirus detect. FUD cryptors can be used to encrypt viruses, rat keyloggers, some spyware tools.
See, I've yet to come across things that are what I would consider fully undetectable. Usually, in one it will detect, in others it won't. Unless you're talking about like hardware attacks, like physical, actual hardware attacks, where you can actually bypass any software looking. And you've got things like the OMG cables, the Flipper Zero. Those kind of hardware attacks are very hard to distinguish, because unless you actually break open a device, how are you going to know it's even been tampered with? So the OMG cable is the scariest cable going, because you wouldn't even know it was a dangerous cable. You just plug it in and away you go. But I could remote payload your device the moment you plug it in. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yes, Mr. UK Miners Club. I knew what that one meant. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But I assumed he wasn't talking about that kind of FUD. That's why I asked, because I wasn't sure. All right.
Not much different,
so, well, I mean, he still hasn't really elaborated on what false info we're spreading. So if you could elaborate on that, that'd be great, Mr. Ether XE. Overall, that would be nice to know. All right, let's see. So let's get back into this a little bit, I guess. What is there anything else you have in your notes there, I guess, that we didn't look at yet or go over yet?
So let me just go over the notes a minute. Let me just switch my screens again.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time. Let me see. What's up, Mr. Hawk in the chat? Good to see you, buddy. Big Wooly. Maybe Ether XE is the one y'all shut down from exploiting all those Kawpow wallets. The Kawpow wallets that you're talking about? Yeah, it's dude, I don't know. It's just crazy. I wouldn't doubt it though. What happens? People get upset. You know, we got a lot of friggin' there's a lot of shit when people like, you know, they'll give you for, I guess, exploiting something, right? If something is needs to be called out, you get a lot of crap for it. But it is what it is, man. Here for
Well, I was actually pleasantly surprised at the response we got from Dynex.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
The only other bit that obviously I don't know, this is actually buried deep within that you know document about proof of holding, is their block reward splits. So I mean, now this is the bit that doesn't make sense to me, right? So if they take your device off mining, right, where you're getting 50% of the reward, and you're renting your device, but you're getting 40% of the rewards.
Wait, what? Block reward is split between these groups.
If you're a hosting provider, that means you're providing your GPUs, right?
Yeah.
So why are you getting less for hosting your GPU to a big project where, you know, that you could be pulling 200 watts on a card over GPU mining? It didn't quite make logical sense to me on that bit. And like, I don't see where the developer fees make sense, given that they haven't actually done any development for 4 months. So they're just taking fees for what?
Right. No, I mean, I get that. Yeah.
You know, and I get
at least
this
it's
for
not no 40% or
growth,
something.
but
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you're not going to be doing an update for 4 months, maybe turn around and put those fees back to the people that are hosting providers that you've been taking the extra off of. You know,
Right.
or even it out so it's 45% for GPU miners and 45% for people that are currently being utilized for rental purposes. You know, so it's even. So it's an even split.
Well, I guess the only thing I could say about that is right here, where in the Q1 they say they're donating 25% of their profits towards planting trees, making the world a better place. So I guess it's 25% of that 10%, right? Which would be like 2.5. But I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But I mean, I guess at the end of the day, like, yeah, you got to get something out of it. So I get that. But it could be worse. 40% is devs too, says Black Sales.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Not at all. I'll spread the FUD. How do Dynex and Clore have compute work outside of mining? What's that work? What projects? How does it run both? When we tax GPUs full use, they use 300 watts. 100%.
So
agree.
I actually did look into this for the Dynex side of things, and I could not find anything in Clore to tell us how they do it, from a sense of how they take you off of one, put you on another, and make sure that your hardware is still, you know, not going to get blown up by somebody ragging the nuts out of it and putting it to like its ultimate wattage. Because the more watts you pump through it, the more degradation you're pumping into that card. Well, then what's the benefit over just leaving your card mining instead? Like, it's going to be less heat, less wear and tear on the fans, because they're going to have to run at full pelt because you're pushing more watts through it. You know, I just don't see where the benefit is at the moment. Yet when I did a look at Dynex, their mechanism for taking you off of one and onto the other is according to their white paper, and I can only take their white paper at face value until I've actually seen it fully working myself. But the idea is it's supposed to be a seamless transition. They take your connected cards to wherever you're connected to. They take them off that network to the job. Once the job is complete, it's supposed to push you back to the blockchain to continue mining. So I would think that Clore would be something similar in that way. That's the only way I could think of it actually being, you know, user friendly in that regard.
Yeah, it sucks there's not much info here on this site. There's literally nothing. So like there's no the white paper would be the most helpful. We'd be able to read through it and see what they're actually saying, but
or at least what they're trying to achieve.
Exactly. I mean, that 7-page, whatever that staking BS is kind of I don't know. But did you see what he said in the chat? He said, "Love you guys. Have been subbed for a while." He said, "Scams use encrypted communication channels such as SSL or TLS to encrypt." He said, in this case, Wireshark will not be able to see the details of the traffic.
Correct. There are some patterns, though, that you can look for within an encrypted packet that will give you some idea of what it's up to, or at least some of it.
So yeah, Matt Electron said true, but Wireshark should be able to at least see that there is something, that there is encrypted traffic being transmitted. Correct. Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, all we need is the foot in the door to know that something's up, and then Yeti will dig into it however he has to. I mean, I'm not that guy. That's him. So I can't even talk for him, but I'm assuming if he found something through Wireshark, he would dig in further with other means. Yeah. I mean, what do you is there a different way besides using Wireshark that you actually deep dive into stuff?
With SSL, there is, depending on if they're using the latest technologies or not. If it's using some older technology, then it is potential that like a form of a man in the middle attack could work, where you put something in between, so it, you know, but a lot of the time encryption is encryption, you know. That's why the government hates it, to be quite honest. That's why the government hates it.
Interesting.
So Patrick says Iron Fish is all encrypted. Yes, it is.
That's what I was just gonna read. Yep.
I think that's pretty much one of their big, you know, mission statements on their website, is that they want to be high-end encryption.
So Nasity said, so do you put all your wallets onto a micro SD card? So I put all mine on an SSD, but you can put them on micro SD cards. I just make sure they're all safe before I put them on there, so they don't like mess with each other.
Mine are all on VMs.
Yeah, I was gonna say yours. So like now when they're on VMs, I think I asked you this last week, but do you have to keep it on 24/7? Like, how does that work?
No.
You just shut them down?
Power down. Yeah, just shut them down. Okay. And then like once every month, I might just fire them up for
so the
10
blockchain
minutes to allow them just to catch up on the blockchain.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So there you go. Yeah, so it's, I mean, you more or less when you're going to download it, you just direct it towards that SD card instead of to your desktop, right? It's really, that's really it. And if you do one per, I mean, how big of an SD card do you need? You can do under 8 gigs, right? Nothing crazy.
It depends. If you use, I think, the Bitcoin one, if you were to download the entire blockchain to put it on there, so you could verify, it's like 300 gig. So ridiculous.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. I mean, like, I guess, like Ravencoin, like this Clore, just ones like this that don't have that big of a blockchain yet, I would assume are okay to go on lower SD cards. I mean, but you could just recover the, you know, the seed phrase into the same wallet if you ever had to download it again on another SD card. So
yeah.
But yeah, City, I will. I'll make a video on that because I have to do that soon. Do you keep them all on one SSD or multiple? I put all mine on one. So it's, like I said, we make sure that it's okay first, or I ask Yeti to, you know, is this okay? Or I have other people that have looked into them and I'll download those and then I'll put them on the SD. But I mean the SSD. But yeah, I mean, I haven't had a reason to separate them yet. But if I was like blindly downloading random core wallets, kind of like, you know, Clore or Dynex or whatever, I would just do it directly to something random if I didn't have a guy like Yeti. You know what I mean? But you still have to be careful, right? Because, all right, now, actually, good question for you, Yeti. If somebody went to download this core wallet to a SSD or a SD card and they did it on their computer, right? Would it be able to get out of that location to infect their computer?
No. Okay. No. The line of code that I found that's potentially exploitable would require there to be one more line of code in there to actually trigger it, and I couldn't find it. So I dug and dug and dug through their source code, and let's say right now there is no real difference between Clore and Ravencoin. So I was able to verify a lot of what's on Ravencoin, and given that Ravencoin, you know, has a pretty decent following these days, they have their hardcore fans, just like some of the other networks. They would be the first to be, you know, screaming from the rooftops that there was a problem. and it would be everywhere straight away, given how big of a project that Ravencoin is.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, just I guess just in general, like just core wallets in general, even if they're not just forked off Raven. Gotcha. Let's see. What are you saying, Hawk, in the chat? He said, so it looks like I'm the only one representing the set. Representing the set. What are you talking about? I'm so confused. Well, I appreciate the super chat, Mr. Hawk. Sorry, I didn't I shut the thing off so it doesn't go off while Yeti's talking. Matt Electron said, don't use SD cards. He said the silicon quality is trash. If you want to go removable, get a cheap 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD and an external adapter. Much better quality. I mean, I get it's just at the end of the day, it's not like you're putting videos on there or something, right? You're just putting the wallet on there just when you download it the first time. I mean, realistically, you don't even need to go to the wallet ever. Like you just, you know, as long as you have
phrase, and then when it's time to sell, you could literally just unlock it and away you go.
Right. It's legit just to download it to get your address so you can mine to it or buy coins, whatever. You know what I mean? And then when you have to, re-download, you could open up a brand new computer and do it on an SSD or whatever you want, you know?
SD cards have come on a long way. Like most removable storage now, like that sort of storage has moved on at such a rate these days that it's nice. So
Hawk's talking about getting a missing mining tattoo. Oh my god. As long as you don't put it on your ass, I guess we'll be all right. That'd be hysterical though if you do that. Let's see. Crazy going on. No sleep with the baby. Oh yeah. Apparently Hawk has no sleep because he just had a baby. So he he's clearly not thinking straight with the tattoo. Let's see. Red Panda, exactly what did Panda say? You what?
That's what it is. He's already sleep deprived.
Oh, 100%. Immediately. You get sleep deprived and you have kids. Matt Electron Engineering SanDisk Extremes are pretty good. Still use a 64 gigabyte SanDisk over 2+ years now, and terabytes of write and reads on my DSLR every day. Oh, Yeti. Oh, there you go. You just froze. That was weird. Anyways, all right. So do you guys have any other questions about this Clore stuff? I mean, it's again, there's not much to rip into. It seems safe to download. There's nothing that we found. I don't understand how it works. Like the renting power, I guess you rent the GPUs, and at the end of the day, you know, you're the one that's at risk, not the people renting your GPUs, as far as I know. Yes.
What about for a bit of fun? Maybe we should go and rent a GPU off them.
Oh God.
And actually see what happens.
What do you have to do? You have to register, I guess.
I think so.
I mean, if you want. I don't own any Clore though. I don't know how that works. You have to pay in Clore. Like, how does that? Do you know?
I don't know. Huh. No idea. I suppose it could be good fun.
It could be. I really don't want to put my email on this thing. God damn it. That's all
right. I can create an email. So I've got plenty of domains. We'll just create a random. We'll just create a random email and just put it on there.
Yeah, see if you can.
And that way they won't even know it's us that's renting it either if they do go looking for it.
So this is the thing. You'd have to register, right? To log in, I assume, and then you'd be able to do whatever you got to do. So yeah, if you want, just if you want to just do it on your end, and then I'll just share your screen.
Yep.
We can see how much it costs anyways. That Clore marketplace only takes Bitcoin, not Clore. Ooh.
Oh, really?
Ooh, that's kind of sketchy. That's
especially with the transaction fees at the moment. Oh, that's going to be brutal.
But what? But wait, so they don't even like, why wouldn't they, I'll keep this hidden until you're done. Just let me know when. That's weird. That's really weird. Why wouldn't they support their own coin instead of using Bitcoin? I mean, I guess Bitcoin's legit, but it's easier for people to use, right?
So they're not using their own tokenomics.
Are you showing? Can I show this now or no?
1 second.
All right, just tell me when. Write out off as a tax expense. Yeah, we absolutely we'd have to. Mr. Game and Smokey Dan. Be kind of interesting though, I guess. Let's see. In terms of overall impressions, which project do you think is the lower risk to involve your hardware with Dynex or Clore?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a tough question actually, because I don't really, I really don't want to answer that because I don't trust either. Not yet. I mean, they both seem clean when it comes to mining. Renting, I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever let somebody rent my hardware, to be honest. That's just me personally. I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat?
Here we go. I'm logged in.
All right, let's see. So this is let me see if I can. That's a little better. So yeah, so they take.
There is. Do you need me to zoom in at all?
If you want a little bit maybe, but I think it's all right. Oh, there you go. Way better. All right, so US dollar, Bitcoin, and then what's the?
So this is that proof of holding.
Okay. Wait, so
then,
hold on. So why? What's that for though? Like, why do you have to have it there?
so this is what we were talking about earlier about how you add your wallet to the proof of holding, and then depending on how much you hold, it gives you a
percentage back. Okay.
So
yeah. So it's kind of like staking in a sense.
Yeah, basically by the looks of it. Yeah, let's see. Expected rewards, certain Clore per day. So that would be like staking.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Black Cat Crypto on this one. He said I'd trust Flux first. Yeah, proof of use will work. I would trust that over any of these other random coins renting hash power, but I'd still be nervous.
Community Cloud, rock bottom prices for GPU. Okay. So here's how much it costs per day for GPUs. Okay.
119,000 sats a day for 430.90s. How much is that? Let me see. BTC USD.
Trusted to throw me on Coinbase.fr always. So hang on one sec.
Change the sats. Oh, you're doing it. All right.
So that's $33.27 per day. God, that is bright on my eyes. Where's dark mode? I haven't got none of my plugins installed on this VM.
Oh no, you're fine. Don't worry about it. All right, so it's like 33 bucks.
It's about $32 a day for a 3090. Sorry, is that I guess that's 4 3090s. Sorry.
24 gigabytes each. All right, VRAM. Yeah. Interesting. See, like what? Man, I don't know. That's crazy. I just wonder who's in the market to rent GPUs. Like, I guess, yeah, if you're doing like rendering, it makes sense. Like big projects, like you were saying, scientific stuff. Like, yeah, I get that. I don't know though. If it's malicious, man, if someone's using stuff for cracking codes or cracking into wallets, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right? That is pretty awful. Oh, here we go. Now I've just switched it to US dollar. Here we go.
What was your question?
You can have 6 3060s for $5 a day.
Oh, here's sorry. Hawk said, I have a question. Any trademark issues with Astat? No, you can do whatever you want. Oh, you sick bastard. All right, nobody doing that. All lies. What? Nobody's doing what? Sorry, Mr. Patrick Murphy. Getting the tattoo? Or is you talking to Black Cat? Let me see. Patrick Murphy. There wasn't an option. Let me see. Dynex appears to be lower risk versus Clore IMO. Interesting. Okay. Patrick Murphy says. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'd have to talk to him. And do we even know who owns Clore? Were you able to find that out at all?
No, there is nothing on their website about who actually owns Clore. Nothing about the ownership at all, to be quite honest.
Yeah, there's no contact info, right? Just Discord.
No, just a Discord.
Discord. They have I don't know what that mail one is. Is it Telegram or something? Paper plane.
This will be, so that's Discord. That'll be.
Is that Telegram logo?
Telegram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Interesting. So Telegram, yeah, I don't trust anything that's involved with Telegram, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's fine, but who knows? There's a chat on the website. There's a chat on the website. Oh, there is a chat on the website. Yeah, you could talk to somebody. I'm gonna happy
to answer you later. That's fantastic.
Send us a message.
That's just a test bot. that's going to be running on that. You send it a message and it will just sit there going around in circles with you.
Right.
So,
interesting.
Even that's not, you know, this isn't what I was expecting when I started digging into them. I was expecting to see a lot more of a fleshed out system, given, you know, by all accounts, people were actually genuinely interested in mining Clore.
Yeah.
So I'd have assumed that they would have got their you know, their act together and got their stuff out, considering it's been out for more than 4 or 5 months.
Right.
When was it actually launched? I think
It says December
2022. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, 5 months. I mean, I guess doing stuff since, you know, Q1, because this is probably just, you know, they just came out probably towards the end of December, if I had to guess. I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird to me, this whole thing. I honestly just think the AI thing's just a buzzword. Like, in this application, they don't have anything to do with AI. It's you're renting GPUs.
At least not yet. At least not yet. They have nothing that actually relates to AI.
But I mean, in hopes that it blows up and gets popular, the AI is going to help. That's only going to help, right?
I guess the right buzzword can always, you know, attract people to you.
Right. That's it.
So.
All right. I guess that's really it. Is there any other questions? You guys have any other thing to say here in the chat? Horsecoin, Dynex, Clore, and Pepe. Dan Ruggs, Pepe. Love your new name. They are AI, said. How are they AI? They're not AI. They're just a GPU renting service. That's all it is. Hash power or whatever you want to do with it. You rent GPUs.
Basically computational power.
Right. And that, I mean, does that technically mean it's AI? If it's computational power? Maybe. It's a fine line. It's like a gray area, I feel like. I don't think it's legit.
I mean, I could put a whole bunch of numbers in an Excel spreadsheet and have it crunch that. That's still computational power. That's not AI though.
Right.
So, you know.
RC said, I want Clore and Dynex to be real, more coins for miners. I think they're scams. Yeah. I again, I don't know. Scam's a harsh word. You know what I mean? It's like saying hate to somebody, right? But at the same time, it's, you don't know until you know, right? It seems okay for miners, but at the end of the day, you can never predict a pull. You don't know if it's going to be a rug pull or not. You don't know if it's going to be complete shit or something's going to happen. Like, I mean, no one saw FTX coming, you know, things like that. It's one of those.
Do you want to mention what's planned for next week then?
Yeah, I guess we could talk about next week. What do you think?
Well, it was your suggestion.
What, Ironfish? Or are we talking about Radiant?
Radiant.
Yes, Radiant. That was it.
You wanted to do Radiant. We could probably squeeze 2 in if you really wanted to go that mad.
I mean, honestly, today we probably should have, if you know, knowing that there was not much here.
Yeah.
It would have been worth it to look into too, but is this?
I suspect, given that the Radiant site is pretty.
Is this Radiant? No, Capital. That can't be it. That can't be it.
No.
Hold on.
Radiantblockchain.org.
Oh, geez, there we go. Here it is. Wow, that's a freaking bright as hell. Or seems bright.
Oh yeah.
So, I guess we'll look into this one next. Again, it's really just to make sure the wallets are safe. I feel like Yeti, to be honest, like we should probably jump on coins as soon as they come out, like new coins.
Sure, I totally agree.
Just ones that, like, I don't know, that you know what I mean. Like, if you go to that miner pool stats or whatever, the freaking new coins that just pop up.
We can always backlog the Radiant lookup if you want. I mean, Radiant's been around a while now. Plenty of people have actually, you know, dug into that kind of wallet deep enough.
Oh, they have a white paper. That's nice.
Oh yeah, they have a white paper. It's extensive.
It's only 13 pages. I don't think it's bullshit. Like, you know, those copy and paste ones that have like 100 pages. You know, that's something to, you know, be concerned about. This one seems legit.
To Radiant. That's how their blockchain wants to work. How they envision it to work when it's, you know, fully deployed. How it's going to scale and everything. So yeah, it's all directly scalable with theirs. It's actually like I was taking a bit of a look at it earlier today just to, you know, have a bit of a deep dive into it and take a look.
It's actually 12 pages. 13th is blank.
Yeah.
So. All right. Yeah, I'll have to read into that. I mean, I would assume
So you
Radiant's pretty legit. A lot of people wanted Radiant, but it's at the end of the day, we're just trying to see if we're gonna get viruses and stuff. You know, it's
now
not really.
the thing is, they use a completely different wallet. They use an Electrum wallet.
So can you
So
explain that a little bit? What's the
that's
difference
a
between that
different
and?
kind of wallet entirely. That doesn't actually download the entire blockchain
Oh,
to
that's nice.
yours to verify. What it does is it actually uses a ton of APIs to go off and check the blockchain. So instead of downloading the transactions, and then it uses your keys to be able to, you know, send out and whatnot. But the rest of it is effectively, once you insert your key into that Electrum wallet, off it goes, which is pretty cool.
Gotcha.
I used an Electron wallet for years on Bitcoin before, you know, I started using things like Zelcore and Exodus for hot wallets.
Right.
So it'd be an interesting one to have a look at, Radiant though. But we actually do have a spreadsheet that we've currently got.
Real quick,
I gave you the link
I wanted to
if you
throw.
wanted to.
Yeah, we could show whatever you got on. But I mean, is anybody looking at any of these coins?
Most of them are on our list, funnily enough.
Yeah, Ironfish is, Ceiling Cat Coin is. Game Pass actually, that's probably one we should look at. That seems I don't know. The Kawpow ones, like I just feel like they're easy to throw up for developers, and
Yeah.
it's just easy to get something in there. They know that, you know, miners are looking for something to just mine, and you know, you could be malicious or not, who knows. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. I think Game Pass is probably one to look at.
Yep, that's on our list. Novo's also on our list.
Aglarium? What is that? What is Aglarium? Chronic. Oh boy. Yeti's getting a call. Mr. Popular. I kick myself for not mining Radiant more. HS only one car's getting 500 a day. Oh, you have only one card getting 500 a day? Now hold 12 card rig gets 500. Oh wow. So like a 12 card rig gets 500 a day coins, and he was getting with one card 500 a day. That's crazy. Interesting. Yeti's getting raided. Yeah, Clore's calling you. Clore's calling you, Yeti. That's what they're saying. Look at this. Gopi coin. Who wants Gopi coin? And then chronic. Does that even say that? Chronic? Cryonic? I don't know. Cryonic?
Cryonic.
Anyways.
Please tell me that's actually got something to do with cryonics, because that'd be really, I'll dig into it and have a look. But
algorithm is yes power LTNCG. What the is that?
I guess that it's a derivative of yes power. So it's the same as that Volks hash.
Oh, right here. Oh, I've never even seen that. Or I never noticed it. Yes power. Interesting. I mean, we can look at that. I mean, I feel like it might be a smart move to look at new coins right away, scan them for viruses, maybe do a couple of them. We don't have to go deep dive into them. Just scan them and get it out of the way, like 5 or 10, and kind of be like, okay, there's no viruses in any of these. You guys are good. Like, here it is.
Sure.
At least to get this, you know, I don't know. It makes sense to me. What do you guys think in the chat? Is that a good idea? Just to scan through these, make sure all the wallets are good.
If there's any other suggestions that you guys want on us to deep dive and have a look, and you know,
this is the
we're more than happy to
also
to do it. And once obviously I've finished the website version of this, obviously we'll be able to actually have it a bit more easier for suggestions and such. But I'll still keep the spreadsheet active, because obviously it's nice to just have a quick, you know, something you can load up and quickly read, but it just won't come with all the notes and a bit more in depth.
You want to just zoom in a little bit, Yeti, on that?
Yeah, sure.
If you don't mind. Be excellent. Yeah, I think it's I mean, I don't know. This is what we have on the list so far anyways. And it's just, you can see kind of Dynex, we had Clore. What was that next one? I can't see that.
So you got Although I am zoomed in, it's not responding on that side. Weird. Hang on a minute.
Oh, you're good.
It might help if I do it on the actual right machine, mightn't it? There we go.
Oh, there you go. Nice. What is that? Veal? Oh, the privacy coin Veal. Yeah, I got you. Okay, Kyla coin. Kyla is one of those coins. Like, that's weird to me that it only has like 21,000.
I know. It's crazy tokenomics.
Yeah. No, it's strange. Very strange. There's only like 3,000 out or something. Maybe it was less. Maybe it was 300. I don't even know. I forget. But yeah. Let's see. What are your thoughts on that block? Oh, you're talking about the, what's it called? I exited out, actually. Patrick Murphy. I exited out. I apologize. All right, Mr. Network Bits. Have a good day, buddy. Appreciate you. Yeah, Yeti, I think that's it, man. I think we're good. Cloreai seems fairly safe. Nothing against it. Nothing for it either.
So do we want Radiant next week, or do we want something different?
I guess somebody suggested in the chat to do one new coin and one old coin. So maybe might be a good idea to do Radiant and just maybe grab the newest one over on mining pool stats. Like, get this.
Okay.
How do you say that again? Cryonic. It's so weird. Cryonic. Yes Power. I've never heard of Yes Power, so I don't know. This Yeti has apparently, but Lithium, that's been around a while. I think that's okay. But yeah, one new coin, one old coin is probably a good idea. And then we'll just try to stick on new coins once we get through the old coins.
Yeah, it'll take us probably a couple of months probably to get through all of the older coins as well. If we do two a week,
right?
Because we'll soon get through them.
Oh, Yes Power is a CPU algo, says Matt Electron.
Okay,
gotcha.
So it means that I'll be, probably sending lots of questions to Mr. Mad Electron then, or to Rabid Mining, one or the other.
Right.
So
Yeti is the most famous YouTuber without a channel. I know. I've told him to start one. He won't. He's got too much going on. But after dinner, he spends time with us because it's like 8 o'clock over there, right?
What is it now? About 10 to 9?
10 to 9, yeah. So
it's still early.
Gotcha. Yeah, he'll be in bed at like 2 a.m. and then up for work at 3.
Well, Panda says we need to deep dive RPM coin, viruses and Trojans galore, 99 pre-mine 2.
Wait, that's a real thing? RPM coin? That's not real.
That would be hilarious.
Could you imagine?
Be funny.
If that popped up here, I would have just died.
One day, just spin up an ERP 20 token or something. Just some fun.
Be perfect. All right, guys. Yeti, you're awesome, man. I appreciate you coming on with me. Well, yeah. Sorry it wasn't super exciting, guys. It's just one of those things. We want to make sure it's safe, and that's really it. Again, nothing against Clore. I don't understand how the AI thing comes into play. It's not really AI. It's just renting GPUs, and whatever they do with it could be AI, could not be AI, could be malicious or not. I have no idea. But just make sure you guys are safe when it comes to renting your GPUs. That's pretty much the only thing I could say. That would really make me a little sketched out, to be honest. Now that that point was brought up, that could be used in malicious activity, and then it comes back to your IP address. That's kind of sketchy. But other than that, is there anything else you wanted to add, Mr. Yeti, before we take off, I guess?
Just I guess, be sensible when you download anything. Best to always, err on the side of caution than just, run it. That's why I offered to do this with Chump is that, we were hearing of a lot of people that get hit like this quite frequently. Right. They might get a DM in Discord that says, oh, there's a new version. They go and download it. They don't think twice. And yet, it's payloaded, and before they know it, they're screwed. So.
Gotcha. Sorry, I was reading Redput. It said they are AI. AI has created. AI need more power. I'm confused, Redputs. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean,
I think that's supposed to say AI created Clore, and therefore AI needs more power.
I got you.
Something along them lines.
You imagine? Could you imagine if it was completely AI created?
Build an AI that then goes and rents more AI power from other things to then, that'd be bad. That'd be very bad.
Right. Citizen says, video on setting up a VM on Windows 11 or 10. All right, we'll have to do that.
Yeah, we can do that. We could. There's a couple of different methods for VMs on Windows 10 or 11. There's using direct actual what's the technology built in. You could use a bundle like VirtualBox. There's a whole bunch of
That's what I was gonna ask. Is VirtualBox safe to use VM
yes.
wise? Like it can't like get out of there and get to your.
No. You can put it in a special mode that keeps it completely isolated.
That would probably
And then
be a real cool like beginner guide video.
oh yeah.
Just kind of go through a walkthrough of that.
It's perfect for
So, yeah.
spinning up a quick VM to test something, or because they actually have virtual box images that are even Microsoft releases them. You can download them and just point it at your virtual box and spin it up. You don't even need to install it. No, nothing. It just fires up.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because we've used that before on mine, but on my PC. But yeah, I've never. Somebody said something about it one time that it was not really a VM, and I'm like, whatever, man. It works for me. It's not. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can get out of it though. I never asked you. I would assume not.
The way I set it up for you, it's all locked down internally. It effectively pseudo bridges, so
Okay.
it thinks your PC isn't even there.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, that's what it seemed like to me anyways. It was a PC inside of a PC, so worked enough for what I needed it for. But all right, guys, love you all. Yeti, you're awesome. Appreciate you. Everybody else, thanks for being here. We will see you guys next Wednesday, but I'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be doing some news stuff. So until then, have a good day, and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace out.